Hey, what's going on, guys? How is everybody doing? So, with both Xinyan and Zhongli coming out this week, I figured now is the perfect opportunity to go over with you guys how much investment you're actually looking in to upgrade your characters to max. We are going to be looking here to get your characters all the way up from level 1 all the way up to level 90. We'll be looking at the total amount of experience, total amount of Mora, elemental crystals, talent books, everything, resin included. That's the big one. We want to find out how long it's actually going to take you to achieve this. We got a lot of numbers to cover, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to let you guys know is that all these numbers that we're going to be talking about today, they are subject to change. Because the amount of rewards that you get per ley line, per boss, it all changes based on your world level. It is going to change. This is going to be scalable. This is going to be the high end. So most likely whatever number we get at the end here, if you're not that high, you're going to have to put a little bit more investment, not that much, but keep that in mind as we're going through these numbers. The other thing to keep in mind is that when we talk about time in terms of whale versus free to play, your whales are going to be getting your full refreshes, all 6 refreshes, plus we're looking at doing the full 180 resin from the actual day in terms of refreshing. When we're looking at free to play numbers, we will be looking at 180 resin per day. Now, granted, that is playing perfectly, but we want a baseline number. So again, that's another variable that you have to take into account with these numbers. So now looking at getting from level 1 to level 90, in terms of experience only, we are looking at a grand total of 8,365,700 experience. Now that's a lot. So let's break it down. Let's figure out how much experience we get per ley line run. Now, if we're looking at our XP ley lines, we're getting roughly 4.5 purple books per run. That's going to be roughly 90,000 experience. We're also getting about 6.5 red books, 5,000 a piece. That's going to be 32,500 altogether. That's 122,500 experience per run. Now, obviously, that's not exact. Like I said, these are all going to be averages. So now taking that into account, we take our 8,365,700 experience divided by 122,500, and we get to 69. So in 69 runs, which is 1,380 resin, you will have all the experience you need to get a character from 1 to 90. So we take that 1380, we divide it by our total number of resin we're getting per day. For a whale, you're looking at roughly 2.5 days, and for free to play, you're looking at 7.5 days of ley lines. That's certainly a lot just for the experience. Moving on, we're moving on to our elemental material. Now, in order to get a character all the way up to level 9, the total elemental material we're going to need 1 sliver, 9 fragments, 9 chunks, and 6 gemstones. That's all the way across all your ascensions. So in order to break this down better, what I've done, because for each of my runs, I'm pretty consistently getting roughly 3 slivers and 2 fragments, which if you craft those, basically we're getting 3 fragments. I've gone and broken down the chunks and gemstones into their fragment equivalent. Each chunk is going to be worth 3 fragments, and each gemstone is going to be worth 9 fragments. So in order to get from 1 to 90, we're looking at, again, 1 sliver, 9 fragments, 9 chunks, which is now 27 fragments, and 6 gemstones, which is now 54 fragments. So taking into consideration my averages that I've been seeing, which is, again, 3 slivers and 2 fragments, which again is like 3 fragments, we're looking at 90 total fragments, which is roughly 30 runs of whatever elemental boss you need to run. And each boss costs 40 resin. So we're looking at 1,200 resin here. So now if you're a whale, you're looking at about 2 days of farming, just bosses. If you're free to play, you're looking at 6.5 days of farming just for your crystals. Now, an important thing to note is you will be getting other things when you're doing these runs. So you will be getting some extra Mora. You will be getting artifacts. Most notably, you're going to be getting glad sets. So that's a really good one to be farming. So it's not like you're just going for these crystals. You will be getting other things while you're doing them. Next up, we have our talent books. In order to get all 3 of your main talents to level 6, because that's kind of like the baseline before you need to start doing world bosses, we're going to need 3 brown books and 21 silver books per talent. So in total, we're looking at 9 brown books and 63 silver books. Now, on average, for what I'm receiving at world level 7, I'm getting 2 brown and 3 silver. So in total, when we do the math, we're getting 18 runs, which is about 360 resin. So for a whale, you're only looking at about a half day's worth of resin to get to level 6 all your talents for a character. And for free to play, unfortunately, 2 days. And now we look at the big one. I think the one that a lot of people don't want to see. However, I don't think it's actually as bad as you think. So we're going to be talking Mora here. So there are a couple categories of Mora, because obviously I haven't addressed all the Mora in the previous section. So for just leveling, this is not counting ascensions. For just leveling, you're looking at 1,672,000 Mora. That's a lot. I'll admit it is a lot. For your ascensions, you're looking at 420,000. For talents, getting them up to level 6 for all three, you're looking at a total of 367,500. So your total cost of Mora to level up your talents level 6, full ascension, all the way to level 90, 2,459,500. That's a lot. That's a big number. I will admit, that's a really big number. So for leyline runs, we are looking at a total of 41. Now, again, that is based off my current number. I'm getting 60,000 Mora per leyline. So take into consideration whatever you're currently getting. So for me, that's 820 resin. So for a whale who's doing full refreshes, you're looking at a little over 1 day's worth of resin. For free to play, you're looking at 4.5 days. So now that we've done all this math, we can calculate the total resin amount, and the total amount you're going to need for all these calculations that we've done so far, 3,760. So for a whale, what does that equate to? Roughly 6 days. It's actually a little bit more than 6 days, so it will take a 7th day in order to get everything. For a free-to-play player that's doing 180 resin a day, you're hitting every single resin you can, you're doing no refreshes whatsoever, you're looking at 21 days. And for a free-to-play player who is doing about 1 refresh every day, you're looking at 15.5 days. And, you know, doing 1 refresh a day is basically free, because you get 60 Prima Gems just from doing your daily commissions, and it only costs 50 Prima Gems to do your first refresh. So you are still netting 10 Prima Gems a day. So if you're not building up to roll, to wish, you can spend them into refreshes and significantly speed up your time. Now, that is a lot of time. I'm not denying that. But if you guys remember, this is a longevity type game. They are looking to keep you in for a while. But I think what a lot of people are freaking out about with these numbers is that currently we have 23 characters. And if a new character is coming every 3 weeks, that's a lot of time. Like, if you're free to play and you got 21 days, and remember, this is at world level 7. If you're at world level 5 or 4, or even, well, if you're world level 3, you're probably not working to build a character to 90. But, you know, with these numbers, you're looking at barely scraping by getting a character to 90. And that can be discouraging. And that's not even including weapons or artifacts, right? We didn't even calculate those. But here's the thing to remember, is that this guide was going from 1 to 90. The biggest chunk of time that you can reduce in getting your character leveled up is 80 to 90. That 80 to 90 is very minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Yes, you can eventually work your characters up to level 90, especially if they're a main DPS, but your support units, they only have to go to like 60, 70, 80 at their maxes, right? Your main DPS is really where you want to pull the most damage out from, and they're going to benefit from those levels the most, right? But you don't have to level up all your characters to level 90. And honestly, most of the stuff that we calculated here is because of that 80 to 90 gap. Out of the 8 million and change experience you need to get from 1 to 90, 3.5 of it is just from 80 to 90. So you can save yourself days just by stopping at 80. So don't get discouraged at these numbers. It's a little bit of a shock value thing to getting a character from 1 to 90, but you can save yourself a ton of time by just going from either 1 to 70 or 1 to 80. For me, my baseline has kind of been like level 70, and it hasn't been too bad. But keep in mind that I am someone who is doing full refreshes every day, so honestly, I am a little bit out of touch with those who are not spending any money on this game. And, you know, I can fully recognize that some of these numbers, they are scary. They take a lot of time. But remember, like I said, just by cutting out a big chunk from 80 to 90, you can save yourself a lot of time. So guys, that is what you can expect and how much you're going to have to invest into your characters moving forward if you're going to be leveling them up to level 90. But hopefully you stuck around this long to hear the fact that 80 to 90 is the biggest jump, and it is going to take you the most amount of time, and you don't have to spend 3 weeks building a character to max. It's probably going to be more like, you know, 2 weeks, which is still a long time, but to max a character for a game like this that is going for longevity, it's not really too bad. But guys, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you want to see more content like this from me, you can head over to my Twitch page, twitch.tv/xjazze. Give us a follow over there. Or if you want to subscribe to this channel right here, click that red subscribe button. Leave a like if you liked it and click that notification bell. That way you never miss a video. But guys, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.